Where'd it go? Hi, Jelly Belly. Between this guy, that is not your new toy, please don't chew on it, and having like a hydraulic bump stop.
Having like an air bump.
Yeah, so it's like a pretty awesome middle. Oh, Jelly, what did I just say? What did I just say? What's up, Lite Nation?
What's going on, Lite Nation?
Welcome to day 6. 1 plus 5 is 6. Day 6 of upgrading the Stepchild into the new monster that it's gonna be.
Master transformation.
At this point, we have the motor in, the motor started, we have the new Dynatrac 6080 XD combo installed as well. However, it is still completely undrivable because we don't have any drive shafts.
So we can't get drive shafts, we can't order drive shafts till the axles are in, everything's in, the wheels and tires are on, and it's sitting on the ground where we can then take measurements. So
it's the last thing you have to do.
And it's Friday afternoon, they're closed on the weekends. We needed it today so we could get it, drive it, and then we have
we have
one or two other things that we have to do as well, but we need it drivable.
To do them.
So we started asking around. We asked Dynatrac, of course we asked DCD, we called a couple other people. Who can we go? We need to get this right away. Are there any local shops?
Everyone suggested JE Real Driveline. You need to go to JE Real Driveline. That's where you need to get your drive shafts made. So that's where we went to get our drive shafts made.
So I called them at 11 o'clock this morning and
on a Friday
and begged them to please try to get me drive shafts same day. I gave them the measurements. They said they'd do their best and call us. And 3 o'clock.
What would you know?
It's 3 o'clock and they're done.
We are here at JE Real to pick up our drive shafts. I imagine most drive shaft companies are used to this because, again, it's the last component of a build, and you don't know, you can't make them ahead of time because you don't know what your measurements are going to be. But yeah, they did it same day for us. It's freaking awesome. We're here to pick up our new drive shafts from JE Real, and we figured while we were here,
we just want to maybe learn a little bit of something because the stock Jeep comes with completely different shafts than the aftermarket one. And the aftermarket ones, you have anything from a 1310 to a 1350 to a 1410 to a 1450, on and on and on and on. Different size tubes, different length tubes, and different ends.
So we figured while we were here, we might as well just take the opportunity to learn some stuff in the meantime, and hopefully allow you guys to learn some stuff with us.
Okay, guys, so we're here with Scott with JE Real.
Hi, Scott.
Say hi, Scott.
Hello.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi, guys.
Okay, so we're gonna go over a few little things about the Jeep kind of in particular and drive shafts in particular, because one thing that happened, we showed up and we found out that I made a mistake. When I called Scott this morning and begged him to please get us drive shafts today on Friday.
And then we got here.
I got here, and as we started talking, we realized I messed up. I forgot to tell him that we already had aftermarket drive shafts, and the measurements are different that way. I gave him the measurements, and he was basing it off of factory mounting points, and let me show you what happened. So something like this is factory. So we would be measuring from this mounting surface right here to the diff. Well, the problem is, when you upgrade, you have to go to a different flange. And now you can see the difference. So what he did was he made up the difference in the measurement because that's what he should have done. My fault. I'm sorry, Scott. So now they have our drive shaft over there. They're cutting it apart, changing the length. So that is something that you need to say when ordering a drive shaft. If you have upgraded shafts, let them know that you already have aftermarket shafts on the upgraded flanges. Yeah. Now, your factory rear drive shaft has a Led Zeppelin joint.
It's not called that. What is it called?
It's called a Rizeppa joint.
A Led Zeppelin Rizeppa. So this is more like a CV joint, and you can see this is going to be more for drivability.
They're just meant for comfort. It's not as functional as, say, a U-joint would be. It doesn't get the angle.
Right, it doesn't get the angle, and when you operate it at extreme angles like this while turning, you're going to rip that boot, and then you're going to have a bad time. So not only are you saving this huge diameter and going something smaller, you're also getting more angle and more strength. Okay, so 1350, 1310, 1450, 1410, all those numbers are the size of the U-joint itself.
Yeah.
Your normal front upgrade would be to a 1310. Now this is what you would swap to. With our Dynatrac 60 front, we're going to a 1350 front. So it's gonna be bigger. That's gonna be this guy here. So of course, as you go up in number, you're basically going up in joint size. You're getting more strength. You're getting more strength and more angle out of those joints the larger they are.
Right?
Yes. Anytime you got a bigger tire, you're putting more pressure on your drive shaft. So anything like over a 35-inch tire should probably be 1350. You know, if you're going 40s and you have 1310, you're taking a gamble.
And this is all for people that don't know anything about drive shafts, because we're learning too. If you know about drive shafts, There's tons of people who have, well, I want something to be my weakest link. And so I've read that argument. Well, I go with a 1310 because if I do break something, I want it to be a U-joint, so that way I can just remove it or replace it there on the trail.
The problem with that is the drive shaft, that thing is spinning at 2,000 RPM. If this breaks, what's going to happen to something that's spinning at 2,000 RPM
right.
on the highway?
Take out other stuff.
Right.
And it happens all the time.
So real quick, let's just show you the front shaft so you can see the stock front shaft, the diameter of the tubing versus what we're upgrading to. Now this is a 1350. This is going to be amazing for our power level, our axle, and for our 40s. And you can see how much extra clearance you're getting out of this, but you're, what, doubling the strength? More than doubling the strength?
I would say at least 40%.
At least 40%?
40%. Oh, you mean from this shaft to
Yeah,
this
from
shaft?
the stock.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Because a 1350, I believe, is 40% stronger than a 1310. That's what I thought you were going for.
So currently we have a 1350 front shaft, or we have a 1310 front shaft. We are upgrading to a 1350, so the front will be 50% stronger. Now the rear, we were at 1350, but we're moving up to a 1410. Now, does the rear going from a 1350 to a 1410, does the tube diameter get bigger?
No, not at all. Everything's the only difference really is that U-joint size. 1350 and 1410 are very similar.
So just this end, like the ears are bigger to accept the 1410.
Yes.
So this is all stuff that you have to know ahead of time. So if you're building your Jeep, you're upgrading, you need to know what tire size you're going to go with. Before you order drive shafts, if you're planning on only going 35s, you're fine. You're not sure 35s or 37s or 40s. It's better to go maybe a little bigger, right?
Exactly, definitely. You can never be too big. I mean, you're never going to be too big, so you want to do 40s.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Guys, if you're upgrading to B-locks, which are super heavy, you're going to 37s, 38s, maybe 40s, the drive shaft is taking all that twisting motion. Especially if you turbo, supercharged, V8 swap, or you just, that twisting force, that motion, all that extra strain, it all goes through the drive shaft.
So what's also pretty cool, obviously, is you guys have been around forever.
Yes.
If you haven't heard of JE Reel, I'd be really surprised at this point because they've over 80 years.
We've been here for a very long time. This facility's been here.
So Jim, who currently owns JE Reel, his dad started working here when he was 14 years old.
Sweeping floors, working on diesel trucks.
Guys, so if you want to know who knows their so to speak, it's these guys. It's JE Reel. It's at this point, it's not surprising why everyone that we asked suggested that we come here to get our drive shafts made for the Stepchild build. And in case you're wondering what our new drive shafts look like,
Jelly with the belly.
Jelly with the belly.
She's so cutie. She's such a cutie, Jelly Belly.
She's just supervising the whole project to make sure that none of us f it up.
Whoa.
Whoa. Boop. Just like that. Boop. Just like that. So this is MetalCloak's Duro Spring microcellular replace-it bumpers. Basically, these are going to replace our bump stops right here. Not to get too salesy on you, but basically these are microcellular urethane bumpers, which ultimately they'll add cushioning control and additional spring rate more or less with, soft mechanical stopping point for the compression of the suspension. So it's almost like a halfway point between your normal, where'd it go? Hi, Jelly Belly. Between this guy, that is not your new toy, please don't chew on it, and having like a hydraulic bump stop.
Like having like an air bump.
Yeah, so it's like a pretty awesome middle, oh. Jelly, what did I just say? What did I just say? No, ma'am.
Ready? She's gonna go get it, ready?
She will, 100%. So excited, go get it. And Jelly has a new toy. So there you go. It's a win-win.
There you go.
And these guys are basically going on all four corners of the Jeep. We've already got them in the rear, now we're just adding them to the front.
So also you guys might have noticed, we still have the 6-packs, the MetalCloak arms, so that's what we're sticking with. They've always worked great. So we're gonna see how they handle all the new weight of the axles and the Hemi and all that before we go changing stuff up. I know people thought we were probably going coilovers and stuff, but we haven't seen a need to yet. So we're not gonna just go coilovers just cause. We're gonna actually see if we actually need them or not.
And of course, speaking of the 6-pack shocks, for anyone who was curious, since we have upgraded to the Dynatrac XD80 rear end, which of course is heavy right now, these 6-pack shocks are the limiting factor when we are at full droop, which basically means that when this whole rear end is at full droop, these shocks are what's holding up all of that weight. These are what's limiting it from falling down, which isn't really good. It's not great for the shocks. So for anyone who was curious, we will be adding limiting straps to our rear axle to make sure that these shocks are no longer the limiting factor. These guys are out. But anyways, we'll be doing these probably tomorrow because we do have to figure out where we want to mount them. But in the meantime, we have a lot of little things that we have to get done still, like bleeding the brake lines and doing an alignment.
So for anybody who's curious, you can actually do an alignment and set your toe at home with the tape measure. As you just saw what he was doing, he was measuring the distance between the tires on the inside, behind, and in front of the axle. That'll tell you whether you're toed in, toed out, or even. And then you're gonna have to figure out if you want like an 1/8 or 16 toed in or an 1/8 or 16 toed out. Everybody has their brand and their preferences. So you gotta figure out what you want.
But home, though.
Yep, definitely can.
All right, you guys. So that officially concludes day six. So that officially concludes day 6 of the Stepchild build, which I know it was kind of a short day, but we spent half of our day in LA traffic. I don't know if you know this, Los Angeles, but you have really
terrible
awful
traffic.
Like at every time of the day.
Sorry,
and it never goes away.
We're starting to get worn down.
But we did get important stuff accomplished. We got a lot of little things accomplished. A lot of lines are secured. Obviously, brakes are bled. We've got the alignment done. Drive shafts are in, so it's actually drivable technically.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things that you have to do to finalize buttoning it up.
Yeah, so we're doing all the little bitty bits. And then the leftover accessories that are still a surprise and we haven't mentioned to you yet come next.
Yeah.
So those are in the next video though.
And then also we've been playing with the lift size. We had different springs and different stack spacers and trying to see what's what. So that's been taking time too.
Basically trying to figure out what's best in terms of offsetting the weight of the motor and height and all that stuff. So we've been playing with a lot of stuff, but we got a lot accomplished. We love you guys. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, you can find all of your Lite Brite Nation merch at litebritstudios.com. All of your Lite Brite Nation decals at pixeldecals.com. We love you.
See.
And we will see you next time.
I'm speaking Spanish now. Peace.
You have to blow a kiss to the camera. No, you. Oh, yeah, oh my God. I was felt like that's never happened before. No one said no. See.